John, a bit of a disappointing result at the weekend. We're 6 unbeaten, but that put a stop to that. Was that a difficult one for the squad to kind of pick themselves back up from?
Yeah, well, obviously it wasn't in the plan, going into the game on Saturday, as you said there, we came into the game in good form, good run of games, wins, and playing well. So the start we made was very unexpected. We've not been defending as badly as that for some time. So schoolboy defending, and if you defend like that, then you're going to lose goals. We were punished. And we certainly got a reaction in the second half, got ourselves back in the game, getting the goal back through one, and then, as I said on Saturday, first corner kick they get, they've managed to score from it, a very sort of soft goal in which we cleared the ball, and then somehow it's managed to, it looks like one of us have managed to deflect into the goal, and then getting the goal, second goal back, game on. Just done everything we could to try and get a goal back, just couldn't get it, but we kept going right to the end. We showed a bit of spirit, a bit of fighting spirit, a bit of, trying to get back in the game. A number of opportunities, balls in the box, effort, commitment, So we go over the game on a Monday morning as we do. In fact, it was Tuesday morning because we had a game Monday night, so there was only a few guys in on the Monday recovering because a lot of them played in the game on the Monday night. So it was Tuesday before we went over that. And we guys are a really, really good group. They're very honest. They take it on the chin. We didn't play well, and we've just got to accept that. So you go over it, you park it, and then we move on. And that's exactly what we've done. We've got to learn from it. That's exactly what we intend to do with regards to situation where we've given Kelly on two occasions, 2-goal start. So we've got to make sure we're away for home on Saturday, down to Dumfries, sitting a few points ahead of them, and obviously, they'll not be wanting this gap to get an awful lot bigger. We certainly want to try and keep on the coattails of the teams that are above us. So it's a matter of good attitude, right attitude, preparation, application, commitment, and quality to win a game of football, and a little break here or there. So yeah, we take it on the chin, and you've got to move on,
I know you like to kind of not look too far past yourselves and only focus on what you can do, what the team can do. But maybe one positive from the results at the weekend was Dunfermline losing their first game of the season, and that maybe obviously maybe a missed chance to capitalise on that, but still just the 4 points behind.
Yeah, I'm not going to change my way I think that with regards to it's all about us. We can't control other results. It's only a very, very small consolation, but Edinburgh City won, and you can't go through a season, based on other results. You've got to look after it yourself, and that's where we are, and that's where we plan to go ahead doing that. The gap is only 4 points. There's a hell of a long way to go. If we had won on Saturday, were we winning the league? Absolutely not. We won the winning league. We're only going to go up top of the league because we're 4 points behind. So at the same time, we weren't going to lose the league because there's a hell of a long way to go, and loads and loads of examples of teams getting back, even they're not at the top of the table. Come on, it was a good example last year how they managed to turn it around in the second half of the season. Now I'm not for a minute expecting to turn things around in the second half of the season. We're looking to be up there as soon as we possibly can. We need to keep the pressure on, and I feel the squad's good enough and strong enough between now and January to continue our fight and our challenges ahead to get to to be right up there.
And you mentioned the next game, of course, tomorrow. We travel down to Dumfries to play Queen of the South. A tough game. Obviously, we came out on top last time. But what are the key things that the squad needs to do tomorrow to be able to provide a good reaction to what happened last weekend?
Well, when you're away from home, you've got to anticipate that the home team will probably have a goal. Our last away game was at Montrose, and they certainly had a go early on, and we, didn't really handle the situation particularly well. We didn't, recognise what was going on, and we kind of played into their hands. And so we've got to be prepared for teams having a go and putting you on the back foot, and we have to defend situations when that happens. And all right, we eventually made a mistake. It led to a goal for Montrose, and we obviously have to, individual errors you can't legislate for. These things you can't legislate for. You have to accept it. It's happened and move on, and hopefully you don't make too many of them over a season. But all teams make mistakes. So yeah, we'll need to make sure we give ourselves a good footing in the game, get a good start in the game, so a platform to build from, and try to play our football. Yeah, we have to assess that. When you've got a DNA, when you've got an identity like what we have, then for the opposition, it's sometimes they've got something to work against. Like you cannot press a ball that's 20 feet in the air. There's teams who play direct. It's very difficult to predict exactly what's going to happen next. But if you're a team who pass the ball from A to B, B to C, D to E, E to F, G, try and get to the other end of the goal, to the other end of the pitch that's going to go. Then teams can be organised and make it difficult for you. It's up to us to do what we do better, to do it even better, to be better than what we have been. Certainly better than we were last week. And that's what we plan to do. Home and away. Our home record's been good. Slipped up last week. It means we've got to go and pick up more points when we're away from home as well, to combine the two lots of points, because at the end of the day, all that everyone's doing right now is accumulating points to be there at the end of the season, and we are very much on course. We would the best time to be top of the table is at 10 to 5 the last game of the season. That's the best time. Everyone wants to get there, but there's no prizes given out in October, November, and all these other months. We've got to make sure that we're up there, accumulate points now to be up there and ready to to take advantage if there's been slip-ups. Last week you mentioned it there, it was a bit of a slip-up from the point of view of if we had played the way that we have been playing and got the result, we would have been 3 points closer to the top of the table. So we take that on board. It doesn't affect our ambitions or desire or objectives. We're very much focused on what we've got to do. We understand there'll be bumps in the road. We're not the finished article. No, we're not the finished article. It would be nice to be, but it's still very early, and there's still players getting used to each other a little bit, and we're still very much learning. Of course, we've got to be. Everyone's kind of learning all the time,
And I talked to you a few weeks ago about how difficult a month October was going to be for us with the 6 fixtures and the numerous away games and stuff like that. But it's looking to be quite a difficult November as well. Maybe looking a bit too far ahead in the future for your liking. But we kick off November at home to Dunfermline, and then the week after we've got Edinburgh City. So that the top 2 teams in the league. Does that add a little bit more pressure to Saturday's game in order to get that win, to get the momentum going into those difficult games?
You never know what's going to be. On paper, you can look at things on paper, and it may look like that. As you've said there about October, up until last Saturday was going on great, and if we win on Saturday, it would still have been great. Picked up a hell of a lot of points. So I'm not looking any further ahead than Queen of the South, the game tomorrow. Once that's finished, we'll look at Dunfermline, and that's how it is. There's absolutely no point, and we're no different than anyone else. Everyone else is in the same boat. Everyone's going to play each other 18 times at home and 18 times away, and however that works out, we're all playing each other the same amount. So I'm not getting too Leeds United about Lincoln, playing. Sometimes these games they don't become the hardest games. How many times in big games does some team come out miles on top? And you think, that was maybe the worst possible game and the hardest game on paper, and you actually go and win it 3 or 4-0, 4 or 5-0. Just because on the day you've did better than somebody else, and that's all you can do. You can't compare 2 games because everything's subjective. everything is subjective, you know. So all you really can do is plan, prepare, organise, motivate, you know, give the players the information, have them in a good place. Saturday we need to bounce back, we're looking for a reaction. You know, that's the job. You know, that is the job. That's what and that's what we do.
And maybe going back to the game last weekend, maybe another positive is that, you know, you've got both your strikers scoring goals. Does that give you a little bit of a problem with who to pick on a Saturday?
Yeah, well, I mean, you assess everything all the time. You know, we assess the training, who's committing to training, who's reacted to maybe being on the pitch and maybe not played as well as they would have liked to have played, and maybe as well as we'd have liked them to play. Who came off the bench and made a good positive impression in the game? Who's been doing that for maybe 2-3 weeks, waiting on a chance, but the team's been doing so well that it's very difficult to change, because it's great for the management, and when you know you're winning a game, you put subs on and they go and finish off the job, but you have to be respectful for the guys that probably work for an hour, 70 minutes, and maybe to some extent soften the opposition, you know, and then, you know, guys go on, and you're really, really delighted when people come on, got the bit between their teeth, and they make an impact in the game. And whether it's at Peterhead where Wan comes on and scores a goal, and Kai done virtually every bar score a goal, but, you know, it was an own goal, and you know, yeah, Wan goes in, Kai doesn't necessarily go in, because other guys have been doing really well for massive chunks of the game. But there becomes, when you get a few, like the second half against Alloa, wasn't brilliant, and Saturday wasn't brilliant, then, you know, there's room for little bits of manoeuvrement, and within the starting 11. We're showing what we can do by changing. At half time we changed everything. It didn't look like it was going to work on the day. We took an option to play more direct, and we scored 2 goals. And at the end of the day, putting the ball over the line, for some people it won't matter on Saturday. It didn't matter to us either, because we just wanted to get back in the game, and it didn't look like we were going to. 2 scruffy goals, 2 goals to set plays, you know. We'll take them all day long, we'll take them because they're goals. But we also want to play, you know, we went a little bit, as I say, direct, up and at them, which I felt was missing, and so we wanted to do that. But it's not the game plan for every game, but it's good to know that you can do that, to have that in the locker. And that's good for the opposition as well, because, you know, we can change if we want to change. So we assess everything, and we look at players every day in training, and based on previous performances and what they do in training, you know, you come to a situation where you pick a team for a particular, for the next game, you know.
And just finally, speaking of the team, probably not a lot's changed in terms of injured players coming back, but any chance you could give us a quick update?
Yeah, I mean, they're all kind of improving, but they're still not ready to get involved. Ryan Williamson is continuously improving, but he's supposed to come out onto the pitch on Monday and go back onto the pitch, which would indicate he's getting closer, but I wouldn't put a timescale on that yet either. Paul Watson, continuously improves. He's improving well, he's coming on well, but he's still kind of like straight line running. PG is improving. As I said last week, PG is improving. So he's not going to be a million miles away, but he's not back into training yet. He's still getting rehabilitation. Jimmy Wilson is still getting rehabilitated for his abdominal injury that he has. Pierce Carroll's ankle injury they got in an under-18 game. I think he should be available to play for the under-18s at the weekend. Fingers crossed. He missed the Youth Cup tie on Friday night. And that's maybe a good opportunity to congratulate the under-18s who went up to Montrose under-19s. Under-18s. I was at the game myself, just wasn't sure of the actual age band, but I watched them fairly regularly. And it was good to see them. They were 2-0 down against Montrose, 2-0 down, come back, 2 each, take the game into extra time, and the score was the last kick of the ball in extra time. So they've managed to get through, and they've got St Johnstone away in the next round. So well done to Grant and Crawford and Tony Begg, the guys in coaching that, and all the players. A few of the players played on Monday night in a bounce game that we had, and they did really well.
All right, John. Well, thank you very much for your time, and all the best for tomorrow.
Thank you.